everybody, I'm KK.
I'm Kristen.
Together.
We are K&K Crochet.
So we don't do these often because I hate to, I think everybody's opinion is valid and that everybody will feel differently about everything. Okay, let me just put that like that. And I love, the companies that create things for us. And we all know that eventually there's going to be something that we don't like, right? So what does my opinion mean? Not a lot, right? But I'm just going to go through this and walk you through it to let you know what I think based on my opinion. It doesn't mean anything as far as what you may think. You may think differently, but maybe by showing you these objects, you can say, oh, well, I like different from her. I'd rather have that, right?
Yeah, I like the layout of this one better.
Right. And this is just because this is something that I got. This is something that I got, hard to tell, from the Hobby Lobby clearance sale. So actually, that was just the packaging. It actually looks like this. Yeah, like that. So, there are 10 size Pom Pom makers and 11 sizes of the tassels. Now, hold on a second. I put them over here where they were easy to find but hard to reach. So, this is what one of them looks like. This is about the 1, 2, 3.
Medium,
this is the
midway.
Like the fourth one out of 8. Now this one, I wanted to do one of these, but I'm not going to now, and you'll find out why in a little bit. But that's a big mama. I mean, that is. Let's see.
It has a size on it.
This is my hand. So, and I have, relatively medium-sized hands. I think it has a size on it. What's it say? I can't see that.
It says 6 inches.
So a 6-inch pom pom. So big mama jamma, like maybe like
Yeah.
that. That's big. I don't know. But anyway, so Kristen was working with this because she's working on a crafting project. This is not what I normally use. These are Boye's, B-O-Y-E, and it says Pom Pom Tassel Maker, and make pom poms and tassels in a variety of sizes quickly and easily. Hobby Lobby, $17.99. I gave $4.49. For what I gave for it, and she's using it, okay. Had I paid $18 for this, honestly, I probably would have returned it. And you can say that's not the right thing to do if you want to, but that's my opinion. I would have returned it because the reason I bought it is because there are so many different sizes. Because I'll show you what I have, and I only have 2 sizes of it and want the other sizes. So, so you make different size pom-poms. Now, I will say, I don't put these on hats. I don't care for them on hats, and I'll tell you why. Even the ones that I like to use, which by the way is Clover, even those, I still think that they are super loose when I tie them. Now, I have arthritic hands, and it makes it more difficult to tie. But when I tie them, I still think they're tight. But it's still possible to pull the strings out. And if I'm giving these to kids, I don't want them to be able to do that. I don't want dogs to be able to accidentally get them and jerk the yarn out and get choked. So, if I'm going to put a pom-pom on a hat, which I think I told you a while back, we bought some of those from Amazon, and I put them on hats. I still have a bunch to put on hats. I just pulled them out as we organized yesterday. I pulled several things out and said I need to use that on my craft stuff because it's been setting. Those were one of the things I pulled out. I don't really care for them. They make a hat cute. They're cute for a child. I don't care for them personally on something I'm going to wear. That's a personal preference. I'm not making hats for me. I'm making hats for other people. So I will be I'll be using the rest of those that I have. I think there was like 20 in the pack. I may have used 5 or 6. I don't know. I'll be using the remaining ones, but I won't be buying anymore just because it's not something that I don't enjoy doing it. And if I don't enjoy doing it, I'm not going to do it. I don't enjoy putting them on the hat. I have to sew a button on the hat. It's not a big deal if you don't mind to do it. I just don't want to do it. I think the hats look just as fine without them for the most part. Now, there are a few that have turned out really super cute that way. But my preference is not to put them on. Now, like I said, I'm not the one wearing the hat, but I'm making it. And if I'm making the amount of hats I make for donation, I'm not going to put a pom-pom on it. So these are used for regular crafting. We use them to put on wreaths. We've used them to make snowman ornaments. We've used them to make snowman hats, because once you get one, I don't know if you know, you can start with this size, but you can end up with one that's like this size after you cut it down really, really tight. So it looks more like a pom-pom from the store, right? But this one, I'll let Kristen explain what you do with this, because I did it one time and I was very aggravated.
I've done it like 8 or 9 times today.
She likes this.
I do. I like it. I don't know if it's just...
But I don't know if you've used my... Yeah, you've used my other one.
I've used your other one. I haven't
She
used
likes
it in a
this.
while.
I'm going to let her tell you what she likes about it and how to use it. And then I'm going to tell you what I don't like about it, and I'm going to show you the one I use.
Do you have yarn for it? Never mind. I'm going to do a demonstration. Maybe.
Here.
I got it. White, so you can see it. So, you just start at this notch and you just like click it into place. And then you do the same on this side. And you just start wrapping it. Whoops. Just start wrapping it around until you get all the way around. And you keep going back and forth, back and forth. And then at the end, you just snip this part so you can bring it down and tie it. And then you just cut it off like a normal pom-pom.
But you have to do it until it's almost even with this bottom edge. So you can't just wrap it once. You have to keep wrapping. It's a lot of yarn.
Yeah.
And that's the way with all pom-poms. But what she's saying is that this is over here on this hook. This one's over here on this hook. You undo them and tie them in the middle.
Yeah.
I could not get this knot tight enough because I knew there was still space between the pom-pom and the knot. Because it's probably because of my arthritis, but I could not tie it tight enough.
I got it tight,
so
but
that it
there
would
was
be against it.
Still a little bit of leeway,
which means it's going to be loose.
Yeah. But I like it. I mean, they work up fairly quickly when I got used to the work of it, you know.
Let me see that white.
I could get it done pretty quick.
I don't like it, but I've used these for years. This is a Clover pom-pom maker. I couldn't tell you the size of it. I have this one, and I have one that's probably about the size of this white portion here, so it's a little smaller. It comes like this. It comes apart in the middle like this, okay? So what you do is you leave it together. You pull, you see these two tabs right here, these two blue tabs. You pull them up like this together, and then you take your yarn, I can find the end of it, and you hold it on, I'm on the other side, but you just put it like this. I'd hold mine on the other side, and you hold the tail down until you start to wrap, and you wrap over it some. And this one too, you wrap all the way across and all the way back until it's almost flush with here. I do it till it looks like a little fat, chubby caterpillar because he's bent in half and he looks like a little chubby one. So I do it until it's pretty full. Then you close this side and come around to this side. You have the blue tabs again, and you open it up and you wrap around, right? We forgot to tell what you do with yours after you tie it off. So
no,
then
I said you cut it.
So then you have this big chubby caterpillar over here and a big chubby caterpillar over here. And I go to the side where the hinge is on this top one so that it doesn't open up as I'm trying to cut it. Because if you're trying to cut this way, you might open it up and accidentally cut yourself. Now, I don't have them here, the little pointy stork scissors that everybody's been using. You cannot really do this really well with a pair of regular scissors. Those stork scissors I used for the first time today trying to do this, and they get in here and they cut really good, and you don't have to worry about cutting your fingers, and you snip right through several layers because it is several layers. So you snip through, and you snip through this side, leave it together. Don't do anything else with it. You leave it together. But once you've got that done and you snip both sides, I'm trying to take the yarn off so I can show you. You hold it together still in the middle. You take a piece of yarn and you go down in this center part right here, all the way around. Bring it up on the other side. And you tie a knot as tight as you can tie it. Now this is the best way. I know you can also make these using cardboard if you don't have these at home. I relate the Boye set to using cardboard. This I think makes it tighter. So I will say also the Boye comes with a tassel maker. Again, it's like using a cardboard version. I think the only difference is that it will tell you how long your tassel is going to be, and it's got these little tabs that you flip over. And I did make one. I don't know where it went. Imagine that. Oh, there. Nope, that's not it.
Where did you put it?
I don't know. Anyway, this is
regular.
This is the Pom Pom from the Boye maker, the Boye Pom Pom maker that I made. this one. This is the Pom Pom from the Clover. So, yes, they're a little bit different size, but
they're different size. Well, are they different size makers?
I think they are supposed to be anyway.
This one's just a little bit smaller.
So there's the difference.
Yeah,
this side over on Kristen's side is the Boye. This is a Clover. I think the Clover is much more full, and I tried to make them exactly the same way. I think it looks better. I tried to trim them the same way. I just think it makes a better pom-pom. It could still be trimmed some. It's more dense to me. I can get more. For one thing, it may have more wraps on the Clover one. Maybe. Because I could get more wraps because I'm doing both sides. I'm doing 2 as opposed to that one's 1. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing basically twice as much, and it's making it more full. I prefer the Clover, and I don't use it that much. Now, Clover's more expensive. You can get 4 in a pack. I looked it up on Joann's. So that was $17.99 at regular price at Hobby Lobby for the 10 pom-pom makers and 11 sizes of tassels, okay? At Joann's.
And the Boye also comes with, I haven't done it yet, but super tiny pom-pom makers.
That's part of the 11.
Yeah, or 10.
Yeah, 10.
So they can be like the small ones you get from Walmart.
So the Clover comes from Joann's. You get 4 for $14.99. And to me, I would rather pay the 4 for $14.99 and get the ones that make the double. That's just my preference. Maybe you just want to do that. Now, for children, it's probably easier to use the Boye because they don't have to. I'm not calling you a children. I'm not saying it's because you're a child. No, I'm just. It's fine. I just think I've used these in a classroom before, and I think those would probably be easier for them to use because this takes a lot of fine motor skills when you're trying to hold this still and open and together and wrap and then turn it over and then tie the, and do all that. This is probably more for adults. I think that's probably more for children, even though it shows like adult projects and things. I think for a classroom,
I think this is also better to make multiples at one time. For a project I'm doing, I'm making several at one time. I can pop them out pretty quickly. With the Clover one, I feel like there's a lot of steps and you gotta be a little bit more cautious with the placement.
That's true.
With this one, it didn't really matter about the placement as long as you had the string on each knot and it was in some sort of half circle shape.
So if you're just looking for one, that will do a basic pom-pom, I think that's great. For crafting or for kids if you're doing them and you just want to do something that's easy, I think it's probably easier. But if you're looking for a really tight pom-pom, this right here, I think is probably what you're going to need. And Spring, the Fiber Enthusiast, is getting ready to release a video, she said, this week on how to trim those up. I think it's what she said. So it'll go right along with this one. We had already decided earlier this week that we were going to do this comparison, and she had no idea. And I had no idea that she was doing the way to show to trim it up. So put us together, and there you go. You'll figure out how to make one. You can choose which one you want to use to make it, and then she can show you how to trim them up because we didn't do that. So anyway, this has been a long video, but we hope it helps you a little bit to decide which one you like better. There are pros and cons to each one. Having both of them helps us do a lot more things, right? Yep. But if you only want one, then you can choose what makes you happy. And there's the tassel, so now I can show you. Even though I cut it off way too short. But there's the tassel. It's cute. I could do the same thing. I could have trimmed it up a little bit too. But I could do the same thing with cardboard. But it is cute. I mean, it tells you the sizes. So if you need to know what size it's going to be, it does help it be a little more uniform than just wrapping it around cardboard. So it's up to you. Whatever floats your boat. So we hope you have a great week. And we hope that you remember to be kind to others because
you don't know anybody else's dream.
That's right. And don't forget to
like the video.
That's right. We love you. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.